Hi, this is Vicky from the Spellbound Bead Company, and in this video I'm going to show you how to cover a carrier bead with odd count peyote. We're using odd count peyote rather than even for this particular project because it means that we can have a central row of beads. So for example, on this this bead here with my initial on, you've got the V, the centre of the V running up the centre of the bead. If I was working in even count peyote, I wouldn't be able to have that symmetry. It would be off by half a bead, which would displease me greatly. So for this one, to cover a carrier bead, you need to do 50 rows of beading. So you've got 25 that cover the front, or 24 plus the 2 turning beads on turning rows on either end. And on the back, because I get bored easily, I've put stripes. You could leave it plain like we have on this Spellbound S here. So those are your options. So a quick refresher of Odd Count Peyote, and then I'll show you how to join it up. We have got a separate video that you can use, that you can watch just on Odd Count Peyote. So I've tied a keeper bead onto the end of the thread, and I'm just going to pick up the 7 beads for the first 2 rows of the work. So that's 6 and 7, and slide those down. Now if you've watched the other video already, you'll know that there's a nice end and a less nice end for the turn. So this is the nice end, so just pick up 1 bead, go through. This first row is always a bit fiddly because you haven't got much to hold on to, and work across. So on one row, which is this row, you'll be picking up 4 beads, and on the next row you'll be picking up 3, which makes the 7 in total over the 2 rows. Okay, so whoops, odd count turn again. So we're going to go into the bead on the end, and then we're going to come through and whoops, turn the needle so that we're coming back through and through, and then we're going to work the next row. Okay, so that's your quick refresher on Odd Count Peyote. So what we're going to do is we're going to work along the pattern as it's indicated. So we're doing the Spellbound S, so we're going to work it here. So it's up to you. You can either work the plain rows first and then put the letter in, or you can work the letter first and then do the plain rows. You can put stripes in there, you could put another pattern in. These are all available to download on the website, along with some blank grids so that you can do your own designing. We'd love to see what you've done. Don't forget you can use the hashtag #MadeItWithSpellbound on social media, and we'll find you and heap praise. So once we've finished our strip of peyote, we end up with the needle coming out the bottom. What we're going to do is join it into a tube around the bead, and then we're going to secure it to the bead. So where the holes are, might be a little tricky to see, there's just some straps of thread that run through the bead, and that's going to connect it so it doesn't slide off. So if you place the beadwork rather, over your carrier bead, you can see the joins up. So you've got the keys and the keyholes, and you're just going to work across, zipping it up like you would any peyote tube. So we're coming out here, so we're going to go in and across. We just hold nice and across. You can go through 2 beads at once. It's just like the teeth on a zip. And through. And then just to secure this one on the end, I'm going to go through and back out the end. And there you have your tube of beadwork sitting over your carrier bead. Now this is the point where you need to make sure you adjust it so that it's sitting where you want it to. So you need to just make sure that your S is in the centre, or your letter is in the centre, your pattern is in the centre. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to work down the edge of the beadwork. So, oh, I've had a thread pop on the end, so we can repair that while we're at it. So we'll go through and we'll just come down and stitch this bead back onto the end. So and come back into the beadwork there, and that should pull it. There we go, that's pulled it in nice and tight. So as we're going across, we'll work our way over. So we're coming out on the other side of the strip, and then this is where you'll need to do a little bit of judicious adjustment. What I'm going to do is I'm coming out of this bead on the edge of my strip. I'm going to take my needle down through the hole in the carrier bead, and then I'm going to come through this side, and I'm just going to come through the beads on the edge of the beadwork. So I'm going to go in there, I'm going to come out of the next bead across, and then I'm going to go back through the hole and again back into the beadwork there, and that's just secured that, so now that's not going to slide. What I'm going to do as well is I'm going to work down and I'm going to do the same thing on this hole. You can do it front and back, you don't need to do it front and back. I'm belt and braces, so I probably will, but you just need to make sure that it's connected top and bottom, and that will stop your beadwork sliding off. If you want it to be a bit more secure, you can use glue, but just be aware of that means you'll have no play at all, and that might not be ideal. But if you're going to do that, you need a glue that will adhere the plastic of the acrylic of the carrier bead to the glass of your Delica beads. And that is how to cover a carrier bead with Odd Count Peyote.